I recently replayed Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales, then coincidentally watched Into the Spider-Verse and Across, and something didn't sit right with me. Not because the movie or the game is bad, or that they're poorly written, but because Spider-Verse Miles was written so well that at a certain point he stopped feeling like an adaptation and started feeling like the definitive version. And that's the problem, because when you replay Spider-Man 2, it feels like a step down from the movies. One feels authentic while the other feels doctored. And today I'm gonna break down why it feels that way psychologically through 5 main pillars, so let's get into it. Miles Morales as a character was born into legacy. He was introduced in Ultimate Fallout No. 4 in 2011 by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pacelli. Miles takes up the Spider-Man mantle after Peter tragically dies fighting the Green Goblin, and from day one Miles exists in comparison, in universe and in real life, and that matters, because comparison builds a competence narrative, such as can I live up to him, and Game Miles lives inside that framework. He trains under Peter, inherits Peter's network, and protects Peter's city. He grows into the role, but Spider-Verse Miles flips the axis. He doesn't ask, can I replace Peter? Instead, he asks, who am I becoming? He has room to breathe, to struggle, and to define himself. Insomniac Miles uses Peter as a crutch, while Spider-Verse Miles uses Peter as an aid. And here's where Spider-Man 2 makes a questionable narrative decision. Instead of allowing Miles to rise independently, the story often elevates him by destabilizing Peter. Now in theory, that could have been powerful if Peter's instability had been used to deepen his insecurities and strengthen the symbiote arc. It would have added psychological weight to both characters, but in the execution it felt rushed. At times it doesn't feel like Miles surpasses Peter through growth, it feels like Peter is reduced to create space. Succession is compelling when the successor becomes undeniable, but it's far less compelling when the predecessor appears diminished. And ultimately, it does a disservice to both Miles and Peter as characters. Spider-Verse Miles suffers from impostor syndrome.
When will I know I'm ready?
That line resonates because it's universal. It's not about swinging, it's about belonging. Now compare that to Insomniac Miles. His anxiety is comparative. He measures himself against Peter's expectations. That's performance pressure. Performance pressure asks, can I execute? While imposter syndrome asks, do I belong? A sense of belonging is existential while execution is technical. One creates vulnerability and the other creates improvement. And vulnerability creates attachment. Now we shift. Miles in Spider-Verse feels culturally specific. He feels like an actual black teen from Brooklyn, and I should know because I am one. The music in the movie isn't neutral at best and garbage at worst. Like in the game.
Use the sounds.
This nigga is trash! His apartment isn't generic, his room feels lived in, and his cadence, the way he talks, feels like it was written by people who actually understand the culture. Not what comes up when you ask ChatGPT what black nerds act like. Over-stylized, over-exaggerated, all aesthetic and no grounding whatsoever. Spider-Verse Miles doesn't feel exaggerated, he feels specific. And the clearest example of the difference between the two characters is that god-awful Adidas suit in the game. Seriously, word of my mother, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Now compare that to Miles' Spider-Verse suit, the ones over the basketball shorts and the hoodie over the mask. It feels so natural because deadass that's what a black teen from Brooklyn would wear if he got Spider-Man's powers. It doesn't look engineered, it looks improvised, and that's texture. Specificity builds authenticity. Don't get me wrong, Game Miles has representation. His Puerto Rican and black identity are present, but it feels polished. When I play the game, never have I once thought, yo, I know a guy like Miles back home. He feels like an outline of a character rather than a lived-in person. Spider-Verse Miles feels like he was allowed to exist, while Game Miles feels like he was designed to be inclusive. Sometimes it feels less like he was written to be understood and more like he was written to be approved, and that difference is subtle, but it's powerful, and audiences feel that instinctively. Even Rio shows the difference. In Spider-Verse, she feels culturally grounded. There's firmness in her warmth, a certain tone in how she speaks to Miles, and a quiet authority wrapped in love. She feels specific, while in the game, she's supportive and encouraging, but more archetypal, more broadly written. She feels like a good mom, while Spider-Verse feels like mine and a certain audience's mom, and specificity creates realism. Spider-Verse revolves around Miles. The leap of faith isn't just action, it's a psychological transformation. His world shifts when he shifts, and that drives the story. In Miles Morales the game, they attempt to do something similar when Peter steps away and Miles becomes New York's only Spider-Man. But it doesn't hit the same because we know Peter is coming back. It feels like Miles is participating instead of redefining. Agency creates ownership, ownership creates myth, and participation creates support. And myth imprints deeper than support ever does. That's why Spider-Verse Miles feels like the center of gravity. Spider-Verse Miles disrupts the formula. He challenges canon, rejects destiny, and defies expectation. He's unstable, and instability feels real, especially to those who always try to do the right thing and always seem to get the short end of the stick. Gay Miles feels stable, responsible, measured, and competent. That's admirable, but it's too safe. And safe rarely defines generations. Spider-Verse made him distinct, not adjacent. Distinct characters shift culture while adjacent ones just maintain it. Now let me be clear, I like Miles Morales and I like Spider-Man 2. This isn't coming from a place of hate. I just wish certain things were handled differently. I wish his growth didn't feel rushed, and I wish his elevation didn't come at Peter's expense. And most importantly, I wish he felt less inserted and more inevitable, because when Miles is written with fiction, instability, and specificity, he doesn't just feel like a successor, he feels like the future. If you disagree with anything I said, good. Break it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions. But thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoy breakdowns like this where we go beyond surface level takes and actually analyze character construction, stick around. There's more coming, and trust me, it only gets sharper from here. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and I'ma catch you on the next video.